How are you? It's Bree Childers back again with some more Bree Childers thoughts on photography. So here's what I would like to talk about today, which is that the business is changing, and it has been changing for a while. And there's a lot of photographers like me who have gotten ourselves to a certain level, and we actually are having trouble figuring out how to make our careers work in the new market. So depending on where you are in your own career, this may or may not be relevant information for you. But I've been doing a lot of research. I've been noticing that one of the things that we're missing is the people who are so used to dropping off portfolios, emailing websites, printing out promos and sending them. The trick is that those things still matter and you still need to do them. And then you need to add another layer of marketing, which includes getting yourself out there digitally. It includes speaking about it on a public forum. It includes using multiple platforms. So how is it that you can take a career that you already have as a photographer and morph it into a career that you want in the coming decade? So I have a couple ideas, and I really would love your feedback, because I really think that people who are anywhere from 18 and 16 and just starting out to people who are 85 and been doing this since long before digital, long before Instagram, I really would love to hear everybody's thoughts. The world is definitely a different place in terms of how you reach people. And I think that the biggest thing that's everybody needs to do is to get authentic about their own brand and authentic about what they bring to the table. I think everybody needs to get really clear about what you're selling. So I used to sell my photography. Of course, I was sort of a brand behind the photography, and I always thought I mattered in regards to how professional I was, how I appeared in meetings, how I handled myself on set. All of that mattered. And I definitely have a reputation of like a nice person, which I thought was authentic to me. I am a nice person, but it couldn't hurt, right? I wasn't known as like the person who treated my assistants poorly and stomped around on set demanding changes and budget increases. I've always been like, yeah, we can make that work. But I think that those tables have turned. I no longer think that my primary sell is photography. There's just too many people out there with a camera or a photo portfolio or any collection of photography and ability to shoot. And my primary focus is now myself is my brand and my photography is secondary. For a lot of us, it's almost like painful to try to sell yourself instead of selling your work, because it feels wrong and it feels almost like backwards and shameful. And some people are in circles where like, if you're not an artist, you're not cool, and therefore how do you sell yourself instead of your work? My point to anybody who's interested is that it's not about anymore trying to be cool for the sake of being cool. People out there are shamelessly selling themselves as their brand and shamelessly selling, when I say shameless, I actually mean that in like a positive way. Like they feel no shame selling themselves. Instead of beefing up their portfolio, they're beefing up their YouTube channel. I think that I never want to be a person who is hired because I want to be a person that's hired because I do good work. However, I can no longer ignore that the current market is, who are you? And then what do you bring to the table? And we can fight it all we want. However, that's just the way it is at the moment. So let's work with that. So anybody out there who's still thinking, how do I get my work in front of people? Which is what I've been doing for 5 years. In terms of, I noticed that the market was changing and I kept thinking, all I have to do is get my work in front of people. It always has sold me before. So now I'm switching. It's not about how do I get my work in front of you. It's about how do I get myself in front of you. Because the sad truth is so many people don't care about the work other than it needs to be good enough. So let's all make a pledge to looking at the reality of what we're selling. I am selling photography for apparel, for sexy photo shoot magazines or sexy photo shoot portraits, and brands that want to amp up their sex appeal, brands that want to amp up their connection with their buyers, and brands that want to get some attention. That's me. So that's my point. I'm no longer selling the photos that do that. I'm selling the person that brings that. I'm selling the person that can create that. I'm not selling the photo that I already took. I'm selling the person who's going to take the photo for my clients. So if this has helped you, if you agree with me, if you see my point, if you want to add to the discussion, I'm really curious what everybody thinks and how everybody else is pursuing their own brand and photography and photos and portfolios, and how they are changing with the industry. So hit me up, leave comments, do all that good stuff. Talk to you soon.